So now that we've gone into the font dialog box, there are one other thing that is on the home tab outside of the dialog box that I think are really great features of Word and also the other programs as well when it comes to formatting. So one of the features is to actually apply effects to your text. And back in the day, this was just called word art, but now it's gotten a lot better with like drop shadows and colors and all these beautiful things. So what I'm going to have you do is actually find a very specific text effect so that you can apply it, because that's how it's going to be on the exam. And then we'll talk about how to create your own in just a moment. So the text effect I'd like you to apply to your last name, so go ahead and double click your last name, is called Fill White Outline Blue Accent Color 5 Shadow. That's the full name of it. So Fill White Outline Blue Accent Color 5 Shadow. So you're looking to apply that to your last name. Again, the text effect, and I'll say it slower, is called Fill White Outline Blue Accent Color 5 Shadow. So you're looking for that text effect and applying it to your last name. One more time, Fill White Outline Blue Accent Color 5 Shadow. So when you go to the font group, you're actually going to find the button that is used for text effects. And again, when you hover over these, they tell you what they do, and that's useful so that you can know what tools you're using, a little description of it. But also when you take the exams, if you don't remember where something is or what it is, you can hover over buttons to kind of find them. And in this font group, there's a little A that has like a blue outline to it, and it says text effects and typography. And this is where you can begin to apply those text effects. When you click this drop down menu, there's a lot of options, right? You've got all these different A's in the center, then you've got outline, shadow, reflection, glow, and even more that are grayed out right now. And those are obviously your text effects and typography options, but I wanted you to apply a specific one of Fill White Outline Blue Accent Color 5 Shadow. So you could go to try and find a shadow and pick a shadow. You can try and apply an outline to it because it had an outline of blue, and all those things were in what I said. But actually when it's named like that, because each of these, we know that each of these has a name when we hover, and when we're in shadow, each of these has a name when we hover, you're actually looking for a preset text effect. And these A's up here are considered preset text effects that are made by Word or a Microsoft. And when you hover over them, they have names, really long names, like Fill Black Text Color 1, Outline White, all those things. It's telling you all the pieces of what's applied to that text effect. So we were looking for Fill White. And fill, we know, if you don't know what fill is the color of the text. So if the color of the text is white, we're looking for white text, and that narrows it down pretty quickly. Outline of blue, well, outline's on the outside of it, right? So we're looking for something where the stroke or the outside of it is blue. And then it's also got a shadow to it because that was in the name too. So we're looking for white. You've got white text here, and white text here. Then you're looking for a blue outline, and that's these two right here. And then we're looking for one that has Fill White Outline Blue Accent Color 5 with a shadow. And that's going to be this one right up at the top here. And it actually says the whole thing. I kept repeating over and over again. And the reason I wanted to go over that is specifically in the exam, it's going to ask you to do the one by name, and that could be kind of confusing to try and find what it is. And you'll see that it will quickly apply to what you had available, keeping some of the text features like the blue, italicized, and underline. That all stays, the bold and stuff, even though we've applied the text effect. When you go to the text effect, though, you can definitely make your own, right? You can apply your own outline. You can change the weight of your outline. So if I go to outline here and I choose weight, I can even make it like a really thick outline, which is just ridiculous. But if I up my font size, you'll be able to see it a little bit better, right? So something like this. I could even give it like a dash on my outline, so I can make it like a dotted outline. So many features inside these text effects, right? I can go to shadow and apply a shadow. I can apply a perspective shadow. I have the option to do reflections of my text. And notice that when you usually do a reflection, it's gonna push text down because it's trying to show the reflection underneath it. I can add a glow to this of one of the preset colors. I can even choose more glow colors and then even choose more colors from there and go further where I pick my own color on the spectrum. All these types of things. So You have lots of options inside of here with these fonts. And then I would also say that something that wasn't in the 365 version is you've also got gradient colors for your fill color, where you can use one of the presets, but you can also go to more gradients on the bottom. And then when you do that, you get a format text effects dialog box over here, which even has more options for text effects. So I've got, 3D formatting where I can do bevels and those kinds of things, add a material to it. It's craziness what you can do in here with text now. And then these two buttons up at the top are like text fill and outline versus text effects. So I can do both of them and they give me new options. So I'm going to go back to text fill, and you can see that gradient fill is one of those options. And when I click that, things change, and I can now apply preset gradients. I can make it, instead of radial, I can make it linear. I can make it rectangular. I can even make the direction different. I can change these colors. So when I clicked on one of these gradient stops, this fill color down here is actually controlling what this color is. So I could actually make it like a rainbow where I'm picking, orange, and I click on each stop here and I add a new one. But what's really cool is I can drag these along as well. And then I can actually add more. So I can add in a stop here, and that's where I can be okay, I want this one to be, green because that's the next color in the rainbow. And all these different things, you have all these different options of what you can do for your gradient and whatnot. It's insane what you can do. And that's just in the fill. That's not even in the outline. So when you're using font, there's a lot more that's there that you're probably not utilizing. So keep that in mind. Lastly, the biggest thing I want to talk about with anything with font or formatting is to get rid of all of it and go back to the default. So I'd like you to see with one click of your button how you can get rid of all this text formatting and go back to the default setting of your last name. So pause the video here and see if you can do that. If you remember from Office 365, there is a little A with an eraser. And that A, when you hover over it, is actually called clear formatting or clear all formatting. And that's going to take away all of the format of it, leaving only the normal unformatted text, bringing me back to just the capital version of my name. So just some quick tips on how to use this font group. There's so much that you can do. Don't ignore the dialog boxes. Don't ignore those other options that you have, because they really do allow you to do a lot of stuff that you weren't able to do before.